So, of course, the first thing we do when we do a life mask on this very pretty lady here, everyone meet Belle, who's going to have a Batwoman cowl made by yours truly. We have to put a ball cap on her. And differently than Rob did on me, we're going to do the back part in plaster bandage up exactly half. And then we're going to do the front with alginate. And then back that up with plaster bandage. The two overlap, they'll come apart, they'll go back together, and we Vaseline the back of the plaster bandage and pour up the entire life mask. So we'll get to that as soon as we get this ball cap on her. So now that we have the ball cap on and we're making sure her head's nice and level, we're going to start putting on the plaster bandage on the back first.
How do you want to fold it?
I've been folding it in half for this first part.
It's a long way.
You wring it out a lot, and then we're going to do this.
Okay, just keep wetting them?
Yeah. And we're going to put this over like this. So, perfect. Here we go, Belle. We're going to immortalize you in plaster. Okay, that gets us started, and that gives us our nice edge to start with. I'm going to build it pretty thick. This edge is pretty critical because you want it to have a nice lip on it for the alginate to butt up against so it keys in pretty good. Do a few of those to get our edge. Okay, thanks, Mary. You can actually bring that a little thing. I have done literally hundreds of these. One of the most interesting life masks I ever did was of Christopher Lee. And I know you guys know who Christopher Lee is. If you don't, that's what Google's for. Christopher Lee, for a Charlie Band movie of all things, where I did a prosthetic makeup on him that was not unlike the one done on David McCallum for the Six Finger Our Limits episode. However, at the last moment, we had all the makeup done and everything, and Chris very kindly asked me if he could forgo the makeup. He was just so tired of wearing makeup after all the stuff he'd done for Hammer and playing Dracula and doing Frankenstein for Hammer. He just didn't want to do it anymore. So, you know, he's so nice about it, so we just had to kind of agree to it, so did the producers. So I ended up making a mask that I wore that's supposed to be him at the end. The movie is called End of the World, and if you watch it, you'll see me at the very end. It was really an interesting experience, and I will talk about Oliver Reed another time, but Christopher Lee is very much with us still, a really, really consummate professional, a really, really nice guy. When I first went to do his life mask, I went to his apartment in Beverly Hills, or actually it's a Wilshire district. He was up in one of these high penthouses right over Wilshire Boulevard, and I had to walk in. He's left the door open for me, and I walked in past all these books. I mean, his apartment looked just like a Hammer film set. Lots of books, lots of culture and art everywhere. And he wasn't there. I kind of poked my head in and said, "Is there anybody here?" And he goes, "Oh, Steve, just come on in. I'll be with you in a minute." So I came in, and I went into his living room, and I sat down. And I was there for a while, and then he came out. He kind of floated out, and there was all this carpet, so his feet really didn't make any sound, any noise, which is a lot like what they did in Hammer. Whenever Dracula would walk, they would take the sound away of his footprints. I don't know if anybody ever noticed that, but you couldn't hear his feet on the floor. And I'm sitting in this really low couch, and he's quite tall, and he stood over me and put his hand out and said, "Very nice to meet you." And he looked just like he walked off the set of Dracula, with the hair and the widow's peak and everything. And we made the life mask in his kitchen.
Do you want another one?
And you don't want to make a huge mess. So what I did
Yes.
is, just one more, is I made a life mask, it was a half-face life mask, and I did it in alginate with the plaster bandage gauze. I took the whole thing off his face because alginate shrinks. You wait 1 minute, you take it off, you want to use it. So my solution for not doing what we're doing right now, making this huge mess, pouring it up, was when I got it, to get it back to the studio, I had a big 5-gallon bucket of ice water, and I stuck it in there directly after I took it off his face, drove it home, and then poured it up once I got home. But it was a really great experience working with him, a really great experience doing the life mask. And right now, really the only life mask I know of him out there is the one that I did. And it's, of course, by now all the fans have copied it and made copies of it, and it's kind of everywhere. But that was one of the first life masks I made off of a very famous actor. So now that we got all that on, I'm going to let this get hard and make sure that I've got enough of a thickness here and strength, and then we're going to do the alginate on the front. How you doing, Bill?
Good.
We're going to mix up some alginate here, which is what they use to cast your teeth when you go to a dentist. Except this is prosthetic grade, which means that it goes off a lot slower. It's for making cast of body parts, and it's organic, and it's neat stuff. And Mary, if you could bring me a little more water.
More water.
And something. Yeah.
Pour it in?
Yeah, pour it in.
The whole thing?
Yes, please. That's good. I mean, go more.
That enough?
Keep going.
Want you to get more?
I think that'll do it. I'm going to start putting it on. Start here. Go around the seam. Overlap it onto the seam.
You're giggling.
It tickles.
It tickles. A nice thick bit over the seam, so it's got some height to it. We'll start working down here. Working down. There we go. We're gonna go over your face now, over one eye at a time. No laughing. No, you know.
Sorry about that.
I'm worried about going off really fast with this stuff. It's not supposed to. Famous last words. I don't know if we'll type there. Leave the nose for me. Okay, here we go. You get it anywhere else, I'll get the nose. This stuff's great. It's really not going off fast at all. Oh yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Anywhere you see it's thin, get it now, because once it goes off, we can't put any more on it. Nostrils are perfect. You're gonna have a big smile on this life mask, I know it. God, it's still, I keep thinking it's going. Blow? Good, perfect.
Don't move.
You wanted show business, kid, you got it. So now we're putting plaster bandage gauze on the front side of the life mask because it cannot support itself, this material. You'll see here, I'll peel some off, it's very flexible and it will never hold its shape if it's not backed up with something like this. So plaster bandage gauze becomes a mother mold, gives it its strength, and then we can pull it off and fill it up with plaster, or ultracal in our case. Does it look like enough to you? I think maybe it is. Now we just got to put them on all over
You have
here.
it over the nose too?
I do that last.
Okay.
when I can just kind of tear up some little pieces and put them in there. Can you soak me some more, please, Mary? What do you think? We almost got you all covered up over here. What I don't want to do is get that stuff on that nice makeup bag. Well, you look different now. And I've seen you. And a little more.
Another one?
Another really interesting life mask we did was on Andy Warhol. Went to New York to make a life cast on him. And that was really fascinating. Another really nice human being. Guess maybe a little more.
More?
And then, was that another roll?
That was
just
an
went
entire
through?
roll.
Wow.
So you want another roll?
Yes, please.
How many more?
Well, take one and one half of one and make it into little pieces so I can build it up around the nose.
Strips?
You can just, well, yeah, just little like fragments actually. Don't fall asleep though. Because that's what happened to me. I started falling asleep underneath there. It's all warm and cozy. Okay, and then bridge the nose so don't break. No, you're fine. I'm not plugging up the holes, I'm just putting support over it though. Okay. Almost.
Okay.
That looked a little weak to me right here too. Okay, I think that's it. And we're gonna let that harden up for a second and off it comes. Slippery, but it's coming off really easy. Too easy. I want this to stay in there. Kind of resists me. I know it's hard. You can wiggle your face around, it helps too. What you want to do is kind of lean forward into this, like so. And we're just going to lean your head down into the mask. Here it comes. And it will just sort of fall right off your face.
How high should the bucket be full?
Oh, it should only be about a quarter of the way full. And there you are, Bill. You got some kind of bubble there on the corner of your mouth. It's trying to take your top off.
There we go.
And there we go. Now, get the back off. Which just kind of floats off. And we're going to take this and put that inside of this. It should naturally key in. Like so. And we've got our mold.
Okay, quarter of a bucket full. Hi! Hi.
Okay.
How was that?
Can I have a mold strap?
Yes.
And if you look inside there, Jeff, you can see how well that closes up again. And we got a full head mold of her head. Up the mold, I Vaseline the back, and we're putting UltraCal 30 in it, which will set up a lot faster than what Rob was using, but no fault to Rob, they just got the wrong stuff for him. This is UltraCal 30. And we're filling this up, and in about a half hour or so, we're gonna open it up and you can see how it looks. So we'll come back and get that in a minute. Over, under, sideways, down, over, under, all around. Over the Yardbirds.
No bubbles.
Is it like a cake? A cake, you always do this to get it to come up, so.
Yeah,
You
I'm
move
gonna
it.
pour this thing
Very
solid.
similar.
It just takes less, you walk away from it and let it go. Our strap is holding it together fine. Yes, it is.
Don't play with it.
Go blind. Oh, we're so funny today. Okay, I don't like the way it's all leaning back.
Okay.
Must be
Reveal the lovely Belle's face in stone. And, this is a hell of a way to get stoned. we got a whole bunch of them. There you go. And that's where we got an air bubble right there, which I will correct. And you were smiling. You were making a face. Okay. And now, this part off, and luckily I was very smart to Vaseline it. And of course this all has to be cleaned up and tooled, all the bubbles removed and all that kind of stuff. There. And that is a full head life mask.
It's so pretty.
So here we are, kids. Here's Belle's life mask all done and ready to clean up. It came out really, really well, right next to the one Rob did of me. So now we can do Batman and Batwoman and Ivy. That's right. And Steve does a selfie. He hasn't done those for a while, but that's how we do that.